Welcome back and prepare to be bedazzled, because today we're going to be shining light on why 9-to-5 job is more similar to an 8-to-7 job for real private sector employees. So why does this happen to be the case? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, much to my irritation, when you acquiesce to working a real private sector employee job based on voluntary demand, you're at a high probability to expend 55 hours per week to only at most receive 40 hours worth of remuneration or emolument if the real private sector employer does not renege on paying you for your hours worked. So why does this happen to be the case? Well, most real private sector employers render it compulsory for their real private sector employees to concede to taking a half an hour to hour unpaid lunch break during every employee work session. And when employees have to accede to the demands of the real private sector employers, it culminates in their work sessions being significantly prolonged. Irrespective of whether or not you forgo consuming a single calorie of food during an employee work session, it is still compulsory for the employees to take the half an hour to hour unpaid lunch break during each and every employee work session. Furthermore, most real private sector employers are eminently controlling and revel in micromanaging the real private sector employees. Most real private sector employers bar the real private sector employees from working remotely, even in contexts in which all the job functions can be fulfilled remotely without ever fulfilling them at the employer's job site. When you have a 2-hour round-trip commute to and from the employer's job site, it significantly prolongs each and every employee work session. So, in reality, for you to receive 40 hours of remuneration, or 40 hours worth of compensation, or 40 hours worth of emolument, you may need to wind up expending around 55 hours of your precious, finite, and valuable, sacrosanct time. Your time is indispensable. You cannot replenish your time once it is depleted. So, if there were not a 2-hour round-trip commute to and from the employer's job site, the employer rendered it permissible for his employees to work their employee jobs remotely, and if the employer did not render it compulsory for his employees to acquiesce to taking a half an hour to hour unpaid lunch break, then each and every employee work session would be more akin to an 8-hour employee work session in lieu of an 11-hour employee work session. I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, insightful, fascinating, and enthralling. I hope that you're entrenched in the underlying epicness. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.